Yo, what is good, YouTube? What is good, Sixer Nation? You already know who this is. It's DFJ Hoops. Like, share, subscribe. I have a great topic tonight. I usually don't do lives around this time, but I have an interesting topic here for Sixer Nations and Sixer fans. So shout out to anybody listening. Shout out to my guy JJ, play by play with JJ. The I was about to say the Eagles, but the Phillies play later on tonight, so I think he's getting ready to call that game. So shout out to him, one of the best play-by-play announcers on these YouTube streets. And shout out to my guy Mike Sports Vibes too. Shout out to running back Philly DJ Eastwood. Shout out to Philly Take with RB, my guy RB. Shout out to him. Shout out to Sean Bernard. Shout out to Keith Pompey, Sixers beat writer. Shout out to Keith Pompey, but shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to the Pull Up Basketball podcast. Shout out to my guy Tune In Sports, Cleveland Cleveland Cavaliers content creator. Shout out to everybody that I listen to. Shout out to everybody that rocks with me. Shout out to my guy Thomas Talented too. Shout out to everybody, Bruce, everybody, man. I appreciate y'all for the support. But I have an interesting topic here for Sixer fans, and not just Sixer fans, but for basketball fans in general. And the topic is, what's the postseason expectations for the Philadelphia 76ers? Now, for the past two seasons, I think this year the Sixers are getting much love than they've been getting or received for the last 2 years. I think this season a lot of people expect the Sixers to do some great things, but in the past the last two seasons, nobody really picked the Sixers to do anything special for the Sixers. Let me look at this comment right here. Shout out to my guy Tune In Sports. He says, "What's the?" Nah, bro, nah, bro. I gotta change it, bro. But nah, forgive me, bro. I didn't mean to put that picture up there, but I mean to put this one up there. My fault, bro. But shout out to Tune In Sports, man. Shout out to you, bro. I didn't even realize that was a picture up there, but yeah, shout out to you. But um, I believe that this season the Sixers are getting much, much, much love. Now, let's rewind the clock back to 2021. And in 2021, the Sixers were the first seed, and a lot of people did pick them to get to the conference finals. Now, a lot of betting agencies had the Sixers, going to the conference finals. They had them as the favorites to at least make it to the conference finals. And I think a lot of people had them making it to the conference finals, but we all remember they came up short in the second round to the Atlanta Hawks, and they were not able to make it to the conference finals. And I think after that series, people have not been really taking the Sixers that seriously. And the next year, the Sixers played the Miami Heat, and obviously Miami was the favorites to get to the conference finals that year, and the Sixers lost. And the next year against the Boston Celtics, Boston was favored to make it to the conference finals. But this year in particular, you listen to ESPN, you listen to most of these mainstream media, and they're picking the Sixers to at least get to the conference finals. Now, me personally, if I ask myself, what are my expectations for the Sixers? I also believe that the Sixers can definitely get to the conference finals. I definitely believe that. But I'm not going to favor them in any series because, for number one, they're not a top four seed. That's number one. The Sixers are not a top four seed in the Eastern Conference. Now, we all remember Embiid was playing at a historic level, averaging the most points per minute since Wilt Chamberlain in 1962. But unfortunately, injuries cut that short. So we didn't really see the whole entirety of it. But the Sixers, Embiid had the Sixers as the third seed. Now, it wasn't just Embiid. I mean, Embiid, the coaching staff, and his teammates, we were definitely the third seed, but he gets hurt, and the Sixers, they completely plummet into the play-in tournament. Now, as we speak right now, the Sixers have not clinched a playoff spot, so it's not even a guarantee that they're going to make the playoffs. But I believe that in the play-in tournament, they could definitely, at worst, be the six. I mean, I said the sixth seed. At worst, they could definitely be the eighth seed, and that's at worst. But I believe in the playing tournament, playing against the Miami Heat and in a one game elimination type thing, the Sixers could definitely make it past or get past Miami in the playing tournament because we saw Miami lose to the Atlanta Hawks last year in the playing. In the first playing game, they lost to the Atlanta Hawks. So it's not a guarantee that the Sixers will make the playoffs, but I mean, I'm favoring them to at least be the eighth seed. Now, I said that I believe that the Sixers could definitely make a run to the conference finals. Now, yeah, I know what a lot of people are going to say. Oh, the Sixers, they ain't never made it out the second round since 2001. And, you listen to these people to talk, and they make it seem like the 76ers is the only team that hasn't been out the second round since '01. But I can name two, three teams that are in the same position, but people are favoring them to do something special. I mean, the Timberwolves is a what you call it. The Timberwolves are an example. The last time they were in the conference finals was in 2004, back when they had Kevin Garnett, Latrell Sprewell, and Sam Cassell. That was the last time they made it to the conference finals. But people are giving them the benefit of the doubt to make it to the conference finals in the Western Conference this year. But they're in the same boat as the Sixers because they haven't been to the conference finals in a long time. Another example is the New York Knicks. They haven't been to the conference finals since 2000. Now, in 2000, they played the Indiana Pacers, and the Pacers beat them and got to the finals. That was the last time they were in the conference finals. But for some reason, they're getting the benefit of the doubt to make it to the conference finals. So I don't think if you have the Sixers going to the conference finals, I don't think that's crazy to say because they have, in my opinion, I think they have everything that it takes to get to the conference finals. Now, yeah, they're currently the seventh seed, eighth seed, but they could definitely make a run. We saw the Lakers last season, who was the 13th seed, but they made a run to the seventh seed. They got out of the play-in tournament and they made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals. Now they did have some favorable matchups. In the first round, they played the Memphis Grizzlies, who was hurt. They were missing a lot of players, and John Morant was also hurt. And yeah, John Morant was hurt, and the Lakers, capitalized on those instances or situations, and they made it all the way to the conference finals. Let me see. TuneIn Sports says they still living off them two championships. Yeah, they are since the 73. Yeah, 1973. That was the last time the Knicks won. So they haven't won in almost 50 years. 51 years. That was back when they had Walt Frazier, Willis Reed, Dave DeBusschere, Bill Bradley, Earl of Pearl Monroe, and they had that super team. I mean, in today it would be considered a super team, but yeah, that was the last time they won a championship. And they've had some good teams in the past. They had in 2012, they had Carmelo Anthony, Amari Stoudemire, and they had Tyson Chandler, and they lost in the first or second round, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but I mean, people are giving them the benefit of the doubt for whatever reason this year. I mean, TuneIn Sports, y'all the reason why because they eliminated y'all last year in the first round, and that wasn't supposed to happen. But that's in the past. I don't even want to bring that up. I'm not trying to turn this into a Cleveland bash session, but yeah, the Knicks they haven't done anything, but for whatever reason they're getting the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, that's that. Shout out to my guy, seriously, Larry. Shout out to Larry, man. Clyde. Yeah, Walt Frazier. Yeah, I mean, Walt. He was a dog back in the '70s for sure. Like he was. I think he's probably one of the best defensive guards in NBA history. I'll definitely give him that. Yeah, Walt Frazier. I'll definitely give him that. But yeah, the Knicks haven't done anything special, but they keep getting the benefit of the doubt. But appreciate you, Larry, for stopping by. I know you're gonna definitely watch JJ stream because the Phillies play today. I don't know who the Phillies are playing against, but they're playing tonight in a few minutes, I believe. Shout out to my guy Humble Man 420, man. I appreciate you for stopping by, Humble. So what up, DFJ? I'm trying to be a Philly fan now. Nah, you gotta be born a Philly fan, bro. If you're not born a Philly fan, that's not gonna work. You gotta be born a Philly fan. That's how it works, bro. That's how it works. Is Embiid's knees acting up, or was that mostly a day off? I believe it was a day off because he just returned, so they not trying to like play him a lot of minutes, which I agree. I mean, if he had played, I don't think the Sixers go to a double overtime. The Sixers probably take care of the Spurs and they handle them in regulation. But I mean, it's also good that Embiid was also rested because he has two. It gave him like 2 more days to rest, and that would definitely benefit him. But my whole thing is, what are you doing when you're not playing? Are you playing video games? Are you getting on the treadmill? Are you getting your endurance right? Are you getting back into condition? Because if you're not doing any of that, that's not really going to help us because we definitely need Embiid come postseason time. We don't need him out of shape by the end of the first quarter, second quarter. We need him playing at least 34, 30, 33, 34 minutes. So hopefully Embiid is doing the right things to get in shape. Hopefully he's doing that, and hopefully the Sixers could definitely use him being in shape because we definitely need that. Stop it. Yeah, it's what it is sports. But let me get back on track. I don't want to get off track. But where was I? Where was I even at? But yeah, I believe this Sixer team could definitely make it to the conference finals. Now, they don't really have a lot in their favor, in my opinion, because they're in the playing tournament. Now, if they let's say they make it out of the playing tournament, they at best are the 7th seed. They'll have to start the series on the road. Now, starting the series on the road in the Joel Embiid era, the Sixers have not won a series that they started on the road. Now we can check. In 2018, they played against the Boston Celtics in the second round. They started that series on the road and they lost the 5 games. In 2019, against the Toronto Raptors, they started that series on the road. Now they could have won that series, but they lost on the last shot by Kawhi, which he traveled. He traveled on that shot. I mean, I always want people to understand that he traveled on that shot. But the Sixers lost that series. Now in 2020, in the bubble, that was a neutral court. So the Sixers didn't win. They got swept by the Boston Celtics in 4 games. In 2021, the Sixers would have had home court advantage all throughout the Eastern Conference, but they came up short to the Atlanta Hawks in the second round. Now in 2022 against Miami, they started that series on the road. In 2023, they started that series against the Boston Celtics on the road. So case in point is the Sixers have not won a series that they started on the road. So it's kind of like a little bit hard for me to favor them to win any series because they haven't shown or proven that they could win a series on the road. But my expectations is for them to make it to the conference finals. And we know that sometimes not the favorite teams, come up victorious. Because I remember what you call it last year, the first round, Milwaukee was favored to beat the Miami Heat, but we all remember what happened in that series. So being favored doesn't really mean anything. You have to get on the court, you have to perform, and you have to uplift your team. So let's look at the scenarios that the Sixers could come up against in this postseason, and let's talk about the possible outcomes. Let me get to the comments first though. Seriously, Larry says, "Do you have a favorite Sixers team?" Um, I think that 2019 team I think that team was fun to watch. I believe that when we had Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, Embiid, Tobias Harris, and JJ Redick. I think that team was a fun team to watch, definitely. So I'm gonna say the 2019 team for like in recently, but all time. Now I never watched this team play, but all time I would definitely say the 1967, the Philadelphia 76ers. I would say that's my favorite team. Even though I never watched them play, I'll definitely give them that. When they had Will Chamberlain, Hal Greer, Chet Walker, Billy Cunningham. Yeah, I'll definitely say that team is my favorite. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. He says JJ definitely thinks they can make the conference final. Yeah, and I think the Sixers could make the conference finals too because for number one, the Sixers have a championship head coach and Nick Nurse. Now I've said this multiple times. I'll say it again. Nick Nurse is a winner. He has won on every level that he has coached at. He got his first head coaching job at the age of 23 at a college back in his hometown in Iowa. and he's won as a college coach. He's won as a G League coach back in the day. It was the NBA D League at the time. He won as a head coach there. He went overseas. He won as a coach overseas. I think he coached in Manchester. He won there, and he coached in Belgium, I believe, and he won there as well. And he came to the NBA as a head coach his first year, and he wins a championship with the Toronto Raptors. Now you can make the excuses that the Golden State was hurt, but I mean he still won. It don't matter. Injuries is a part of the game. He still won a championship. So the Sixers have a championship head coach, and he won a championship like recently. Now it's been like six seasons, but at least that was recently. People say Doc Rivers has won a championship, and the last time he won a championship was back in '08. That was almost 14 years ago. So we have a championship head coach in Nick Nurse. um, we have a solid player in Joel Embiid. Joel was playing at a historic level, like I was saying. Injuries cut it short, but Embiid was definitely playing at a historic level for sure. Now you have Joel Embiid as the best player. Now I know what people are gonna say. He hasn't been out the second round. He hasn't been out the second round. Okay, Carl Anthony Towns, um, Rudy Gobert, they haven't been out the second round, but you giving them the benefit of the doubt to make it to the conference finals. So what does that mean? So just because he never made it out the second round, that don't mean nothing. And I keep bringing this up. Just because he never made it out the second round doesn't mean that he will never make it out the second round. Every year is different. So yeah, but that's that. But the Sixers have Joel Embiid, who's one of the best players in the game. They have one of the best young players in Tyrese Maxey, right? Tyrese is averaging 25, 26 points per game in year 4. So he has taken a huge step, and he's taking strides in the right direction. And the Sixers have, the right complementary pieces that can definitely help this team make a deep postseason run. Now you have Nico, who's, Nico's he never made it to the finals, but he got to the conference finals with the Clippers. And I know that was 3 years ago, and he's a little bit older, but he's still effective sometimes with his passing ability, with uh with his ability to shoot the three, and his ability to play defense and pick up guards full court. That's definitely a huge things. Those are the huge things that Nico brings to the table. Tuna Sports says, "What's your observation of Nick Nurse this year? Good coach, great coach." I'm gonna say good coach because Embiid was hurt, and we didn't really see how good the 76er team would have been had Embiid played, most of the games. But I mean, Nick Nurse definitely got the most out of every player on this roster. He got the most out of Mo Bamba. I mean, Mo Bamba should be out the league if we're being honest, but he was able to get the best out of him. He's been able to get the best out of Paul Reed, and Paul Reed has not. I really expected Paul Reed to take a huge jump this year, but Paul Reed is not, playing, or he didn't take the jump that I expected him to take. But even though Nick Nurse is still getting, the best out of him, and I would definitely say a good coach. Now, I don't like, I told I was on BJ stream the last time, and I got into it with somebody, and I said Tim Duncan is. I'm not gonna call Tim Duncan a great scorer. I'll just call him a good scorer because I don't throw the word great out there too many times. So definitely a good coach for sure. Definitely a good coach. Larry says, "Well, yeah, Will on that 67 team. I think that would definitely be my favorite team. I wish we had that team on 2K, but that team is not on 2K. So, Tuna Sports says Rudy. Hey, Tuna Sports, bro. I don't care what you say, bro. Rudy Gobert is making it into the Hall of Fame, whether you like it or not. But he never got out the second round. But people are giving the Timberwolves the benefit of the doubt to make it to the conference finals. Him, Carl Anthony Towns, uh, Anthony Edwards hasn't been out the first round. I mean, he's in year 4, so I'm not really gonna hold that against him. But yeah, I think the Sixers have that. The Sixers have veteran players. I mean, Nico's definitely a veteran player, and Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry was a great pickup, and like I said the last time, Kyle does the necessary things that winning teams do in order to win championships. Like Kyle Lowry will definitely put his body on the line to take a charge. He'll dive on the floor for loose balls. Like he does, like the things that he brings to the table, like these are winning plays, and the Sixers have not had that in a long time. The Sixers have not had that in a long time, but these are what Kyle Lowry brings, and he's definitely an experienced player. He played with Nick Nurse, so he knows Nick Nurse's system very well, and he made it to the finals himself with Nick Nurse back in 2019, and last year, Kyle with the Miami Heat, they went to the finals. So Kyle Lowry definitely knows what it takes to get back to the finals. He knows what it takes to make a finals, make a excuse me, but he knows what it takes to make a finals appearance. Now, am I saying that because the Sixers have all of this, it's a guarantee that they make it to the finals? No, I'm not saying that, but they definitely have a chance and they have a shot, even though they'll have to start every series on the road. Embiid is not hurt. Embiid is not going to start this series being hurt. Now, we could say it was a blessing. It was a blessing in disguise that he got hurt earlier in this season, but he's recovered and he's really making strides in the right direction. Against the Memphis Grizzlies, he dropped 30, so he's getting back to what he was, or he's getting back to the level that he's playing at before he got hurt. But yeah, Joel Embiid could definitely help us make the conference finals for sure. Uh Tuna Sports says, yeah, you got vets. Yeah, we definitely got vets. We got players that made it to the finals. And like I said, Kyle Lowry made it to the finals last year. You know, he played at a very good level. He was making big shots for the Miami Heat when some players like Max Strus like Max Strus was not stepping up and playing at the level that he was supposed to play at. Kyle Lowry was coming off the bench and he was hitting big shots for them. Now, it wasn't enough because the best players they didn't step up. Jimmy Butler didn't step up in the finals. But I'm not gonna say that Miami lost because of Kyle Lowry. He did his job. He came off the bench. He facilitated. He distributed. He made big shots when necessary. He played defense when necessary. Um, so yeah, that's that. And the Sixers have Cameron Payne too. And Cameron Payne was on the Phoenix Suns team that made it to the finals back in what year was that? 2021. Yeah, they made it to the finals back in 2021, and he was a huge contributor on that team. And I remember in the conference finals, I mean, I watched multiple teams. In the conference finals, Chris Paul missed the first two games because he was in COVID protocols, and Cameron Payne was starting in place of Chris Paul. And in game two, he had a great game too. He scored, I think, 28 points and 9 assists. So Cameron Payne has shown that he could definitely elevate and definitely play at a very high level if he needs to play at a very high level. He can definitely contribute for a team. Now, I believe Cameron Payne will definitely be in the Sixers rotations in the postseason. But I know Tuna Sports. Yeah, 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 yeah. There you go. I know Tuna Sports. You're not gonna believe in Cameron Payne for whatever reason. You bash this dude. Now, when I do the same thing to Jared Allen, you say I'm hating on Jared Allen, but I'm not hating on Jared Allen. But you do the same thing. And Cameron Payne has made it to the finals. Jared Allen never got out the second round. So we could definitely play that game. Yeah. Jared Allen never made it. Oh, he never made it out the first round. Because we beat Brooklyn in 2019. He was on that team. And then last year, y'all lost to the Knicks. So he hasn't made it out the first round. But for whatever reason, you give him all this praise and you you rank him over Rudy Gobert. At least Rudy Gobert made it out the first round. Well, when was the last time that Jared Allen made it out the first round? I'll wait. I'm gonna sit right here and wait. Bruce, shout out to Bruce Morrow, man. I appreciate you for stopping by, Bruce. He said pain will give you pain. Yeah, he'll definitely give the other teams pain for sure. Like he brings the pain off the bench, and that's what he does, and that's what he's been doing since he's been with the Sixers. I mean, he comes off the bench, he gives the other teams pain. He gave Miami pain. He turned up the heat on Miami, and that's what he does. So shout out to Cameron Payne, man. I love having campaign coming off the bench as a backup center. Now, having Patrick Beverly, I love Patrick Beverly too, but I just think that Cameron Payne brings something more than what Patrick Beverly brings. I mean, Cameron Payne is in his 30s. He's probably 32 or 33, but he plays fast. He pushes the pace. He helps the Sixers get into their sets very early, and he doesn't really hold on to the ball. And holding on to the ball, I hate players when they do that because you're holding on to the ball, and you're kind of like slowing down the pace, and then you have to start running your offense with about 12 seconds or 13 seconds left on the clock. That's not really efficient offense in my opinion. But Cameron Payne comes off the bench. He pushes the pace. He plays at a faster pace. He's one of the reasons why. I mean, having Maxi on the team, having Buddy Hield on the team, um, the Sixers play at a very fast pace. But having Cameron Payne come off the bench and playing at a very fast pace, that helps the Sixers be one of the fastest teams in the league. Having Joel, Joel is very slow. He's a 300-pound dude, so he's going to play slow. But having these fast guys on the team, that helps us in transition a lot. That helps us score quick and easy points, and it helps us get our defense set early too. Because if you're making shots, you have to get back on defense and get your defense set. So I definitely take Cameron Payne over Patrick Beverly every single time. Cameron Bruce Mars's campaign will be dancing with the stars. I mean, I don't know why y'all call him a dancer. Like Tuna Sports calls him a dancer. Like, why y'all call him a dancer? I don't know why. Is there something I'm missing? Because I don't know. But yeah, y'all can tell me. But yeah, he says he got one arm. Yeah, I mean his shooting form doesn't really look that great. But I don't really care if your shooting form doesn't look great as long as you're making those shots. That's what matters. I mean, Bruce, Bill Cartwright doesn't really have the prettiest jump shot, but sometimes it goes in, and that's what matters. Sean Marion didn't have the greatest looking jump shot, but in 2011 he was making shots, and those shots really helped the Dallas Mavericks, you know, win the championship. Larry says, "I like what we're getting from Payne and Lowry. I want to see more from Buddy. Am I wrong?" No, you're not. And Buddy Hield has really been a little bit disappointing. Now, when he first came to the Sixers, those first 4 games, he dropped 20 points in each game that he played in. Now, in some of the games, he had double digit assists. I think against Cleveland, he was showing how versatile he was, and not being one dimensional. Because at first, I only thought Buddy Hield only shoots threes. He's just a movement shooter, or a catch and shoot player, or somebody that can. Uh, I didn't think he could shoot off the dribble like that, but when he came, those first 4 games, he was showing us that he could definitely facilitate. He could definitely get to the basket, finish with either hand, and he was shooting the threes. He was distributing for the Sixers. But after the All Star break, we haven't really seen that so much, and it's starting to make me, be a little bit concerned because we definitely need Buddy Hield with his ability to shoot the three, and him being one of the best 3-point shooters in the game. And we definitely need somebody to come off the bench and make those threes for us. But he's not really shooting the ball to the level that I expect him to shoot the ball at, and that's making me a little bit concerned. And add that to the fact that he hasn't been in the playoffs before. That's one of the cons that I think the Sixers have, because the Sixers have, a couple players that haven't played in the postseason. So you can't really judge how good they're going to be in the postseason. Same argument or same logic goes to my guy Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre has been playing very good for the Sixers. Um, Now, I'm hearing people saying that he's better than Tobias Harris and he should be the third option. That's what people are saying, but I just believe that there's a difference between playing better and a better player. Now, Tobias is a better player, but Kelly Oubre is just playing better than Tobias Harris, and I'll just leave it at that. But as I was saying, Kelly Oubre has not played in the playoffs before, so it's a little bit hard for you to judge how good he would be in the postseason because he's never played in the postseason before. So I don't really. I'm just 50-50. Will he play great? I mean, not great, but will he play good in the postseason? Will he play at the level that the Sixers will expect him to play at? I just don't know because we've never seen it before. So it's a little bit tricky to kind of like judge him in terms of postseason. Tuna Sports says Rudy Gobert had Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, he had Donovan Mitchell. What's your point though? They never made it out the second round. In 2021, they had the best offense in the league. They had the best defense in the league. They were number one in three pointers made, right? They had two, not one, but two six-man candidates, and Joe Ingles and Jordan Clarkson. They had the defensive player of the year. And Donovan Mitchell had not one, but two all-stars, Rudy Gobert and Mike Conley. And they got into the second round, and Paul George walked them down. So, yeah, that was just a little history lesson for you, bro. Come on, man. Cameron Payne with the crook. I mean, Bruce, I'm not gonna argue that. Yeah, his shot looks crooked. I'm not gonna argue that, but sometimes it goes in. And I think if it goes in, that's the only thing you should care about. How pretty it looks, I don't think that really matters. If you're just making the shot, I think that's the only thing that matters. I mean, when I look at his percentages with the Sixers, he's shooting 38% from the three. I'll definitely take that. 38 from the three, I'll take that. That's not great, but it's not bad either. Now you want your players to be shooting 40%, 41, 42% from the three. Now that's efficient, but 38% is not bad. I'll definitely take that from a backup center. Bruce has faster pace to I mean the percentages says otherwise, Bruce. So that I don't understand what you're saying right there. The percentages says otherwise. 38% is not really bricks. Now if you're shooting below 35%, now that right there's bricks. But yeah. Cameron Payne and Sean Marion, who got a better shot? I mean, I don't know, bro. I mean, both of them don't look pretty. I'll say that for sure. Both of them don't look pretty, but I mean, I don't really think that how pretty your jump shot looks really matters. What matters is are you making those shots or not? I think that's what matters. So yeah. He says he was Westbrook dance partner on OKC. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean there. Yeah, yeah. Okay, 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 okay. So that's what Tuna Sports be referencing every single time. All right, I get it now. I get it now. Okay, okay. He said backup dancer. Uh, Larry says, thanks. I'm tuning into the Phils now. You should check in later. I definitely will. I definitely will, and hopefully the Phillies win. I don't know. I think they're playing the Cardinals. Yeah, I think they are. But yeah, I'll definitely check in for sure. Uh, Bruce says, "Dang, all those guys are bricklayers." What guys are you talking about? Because I just showed you Cameron Payne's percentages. He's shooting 38% from the three, so that's not really bricks. I mean, 38% is not super efficient, but it's not that bad either. I think you're above average. Now the league average I think is what 37.6. I could be wrong, but I think that's the league average. So if you're shooting 38% from the three, you're way above league average. And you said Kelly Oubre. Now, yeah, Kelly Oubre is laying bricks from the three. I'm not even gonna argue that. His 3-point percentage is not great. But he slashes, he attacks the basket every single time. And that's the mentality that I like. When he puts his head down and try to generate rim pressure, that's something that the Sixers definitely benefit of. And he gets to the free throw line, a couple of times, and he's shooting his free throws not at the percentage that I would want it to be. I don't think he's shooting 80% or better from the free throw line, but he's definitely getting to the line for sure. He's attacking the basket. He's generating rim pressure. He's collapsing defenses. Now, one thing I would like from him is to be a playmaker out of there because guys are collapsing on him. He's collapsing defenses. So the best thing you would want from your player once he collapses a defense is to, find open shooters. So, yeah, that's one thing that Kelly Oubre is doing that I really appreciate. But the three pointers, he's not really shooting the threes at the percentage that I would like. Now he's shooting 31% from the three. That's horrendous in 2024. That is horrendous. But he attacks the basket. That's what I really like. And he's not a great defender, but sometimes he's able to contain whoever he's guarding. And I'll definitely take that for sure. I mean, that's the only choice we have, so I have no choice but to accept that. Now, Tuna Sports says Spider was hurt. Nah, we're not doing excuses. Nah, he was on the court. He was on the basketball court. So all the excuses, I don't do no injury excuses. So that goes in the garbage can. I don't do injury excuses. He was on the court. He was dropping 40. He was dropping 40. He was dropping 40 pieces in the playoffs. So that excuse, nah. Just sorry. Try again, bro. Bruce says Oubre, Payne, and Lowry. Lowry's not a brick. He ain't no bricklayer, Bruce. Just stop it. And Lowry ain't no bricklayer. Lowry was making big shots in the NBA Finals. It was not his fault that Miami lost in 5 games. The starters didn't do their job. Max Strus averaged 5 points in the finals. Jimmy Butler was averaging 37 in the first round. Got in the finals and was averaging 21, 22 points. That's not Kyle Lowry's fault. Kyle Lowry's shooting the three. He's shooting a three. He's shooting it at 40% for the Sixers. That's solid. The 40%, that's super efficient. So I'll definitely take that. But let me not get off track. Let me talk about the Sixers and the possible outcomes if they face these 3 teams in the postseason. So the first team is the Boston Celtics. Now, if the Sixers face the Boston Celtics, yeah, Boston is going to be favored. They've won 60 games so far this year. They've won 60 plus. So heading into the postseason, with the Sixers being the 8th seed, they're not going to be favored to win. But could the Sixers pull up or pull off an upset and beat the Boston Celtics in the first round? I believe they can. I definitely believe they can. Now, Embiid is not going to be hurt. Now, Embiid is going to see, multiple double team, triple teams. He's going to see different defensive coverages because that will be the best thing to do. So the fate of the series will be in the hands of the role players, will be in the hands of Buddy Hield, will be in the hands of Kyle Lowry, will be in the hands of Nico Batum, Tobias Harris, Maxi. Now, I haven't really gotten to Maxi. I'll get to Maxi in a little bit, but um, those guys are going to be expected to make shots. And if they don't make shots, if they don't make their outside shots, we're not going to beat the Boston Celtics in the first round because Embiid, they're going to throw the kitchen sink at him. I don't think Joe Mazzulla is going to watch Embiid go one-on-one. If they let Embiid go one-on-one, Embiid will probably average 30 in that series. And let's not act like Embiid has not averaged 30 in the playoff series. Now, let me just talk about this briefly. We hear that Embiid is a playoff dropper. He doesn't play as great in the postseason as he plays in the regular season. Now, yeah, the past 2 seasons he hasn't, but why hasn't he played at the same level in the regular season? It's because he's been hurt. In 2022, he had an orbital fracture and had a torn ligament in his thumb. Pascal Siakam elbowed him in the face. So he was wearing that big ass face mask in the Miami series. That's when he came back with the face mask. And he had a torn ligament in his thumb on his shooting hand. And we know Embiid likes to, face you up and shoot a lot of jumpers, shoot a lot of J's. So if your thumb gives you the grip, pause if necessary, no diddy. But if you don't if you have a torn ligament in your thumb, you're not gonna play at the level that you want to play at. And I don't really think that because he had these injuries, we should, kind of like judge him the way we judge him because he was not at 100%. Now playing with a torn ligament in your thumb, that's literally playing basketball with 9 fingers. Now, if you don't have a grip on the basketball, you're not gonna make shots. And on top of that, James Harden was in Game 6. We all remember what happened with James Harden. So yeah, Embiid didn't show up in that series. That's cool. Now the next year, what happened in 2023? Just last year, what happened in Game 3 or Game 4 against the Brooklyn Nets? What happened to him? LCL sprain. He sprains his LCL before the second round. Now he still went into that series against the Boston Celtics and he was dropping 30-point games. In Game 3, 4, and 5, he did drop 30-point games. But people try to make it seem like it was just Harden and just Harden in Game 4 and Harden dropped 2 40-point games. Yeah, but in Game 4, did Embiid not drop 35? Am I mistaken? Embiid did his job. As much as we needed Harden, Embiid also did his job, and he was solid defensively. But people don't care about the defensive part. When he averages 5 blocks in the postseason, nobody cares about it. All we focus on is his offensive production. And like I said, if you're injured, if you're not at 100%, you're not going to play at your best. But in 2020, when he played against the Boston Celtics in the first round, yeah, the Sixers did get swept. But did he not average 30 on the Boston Celtics? He did. Now, that playoff dropper logic, that should even go out it should be thrown in the garbage can, because in 2019-2020 season, he was averaging 23 points in the regular season. He goes into the playoffs and averages 30. That's what, a 7-point increase in his points per game. So that right there, the playoff dropper logic, that should go out the window. But let me not get off track. If the Boston Celtics play him straight up like single coverage, he'll definitely average 30 in that series. Now, I expect him to get double teamed a lot. I expect the Boston Celtics to throw the kitchen sink at him. So when that happens, the the other players have to make their shots. Like I said, Kyle Lowry has to make his shots. Maxey has to make his shots. Maxey would definitely give Boston hell, even though Boston has, some great, perimeter defenders with Drew Holiday and what you call it, Derek White. Maxey's very, very fast. So he'll definitely give them issues. Now, Tobias Harris is the wild card. Tobias Harris, we don't know what we're gonna get from him. He might show up, he might not show up. So the Sixers definitely have a chance to beat the Celtics, but am I going to favor them to beat the Celtics? No, because the Sixers haven't won a playoff series on the road. They haven't won a playoff series that they started on the road. So with that, and them being in the eighth seed, with Embiid missing as much time as he did, I'm not going to really favor them to win. But anything could happen, and I believe that anything could definitely happen for sure. Now, against the Milwaukee Bucks, if they're the seventh seed, now Milwaukee is not really. They don't really have a great perimeter. They don't really have great perimeter defenders on that team. Now, Damian Lillard and what's this dude's name? The dude that was going out with Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. Can y'all tell me the shooting guard for Milwaukee? The dude that was going out with Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. I forgot his name. Oh God. Uh, oh yeah, Beasley. Yeah, Beasley. Is it Michael Beasley or Malik? Yeah, Malik Beasley. So Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley. That's the worst. That's the worst backcourt in the NBA in terms of perimeter defense. And Maxi will definitely eat that defense alive because they don't really have the perimeter defenders to guard Maxi. And Maxi will definitely take advantage of that. But the Sixers also don't have no answer for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, Giannis, like I said, Giannis is one of the best transition players in the game. Giannis plays so fast. He's one of the best passers on that Milwaukee Bucks team. And the Sixers have no defense whatsoever for him. Now, I'm hearing some Sixer fans saying that, oh, Nick Nurse played against Giannis in the playoffs, so Nick Nurse knows how to neutralize Giannis. But the difference is when Nick Nurse was on the Toronto Raptors, when he was the head coach for the Toronto Raptors, he had the personnel to deal with Giannis. Now, the Raptors had Ibaka, they had Kawhi Leonard, they had um, Pascal Siakam, they had Marc Gasol. They had the personnel to stop Giannis. So they built the wall. They played that pack line defense, and they had Kawhi Leonard on him to neutralize his defense. To neutralize his drives to the basket every single time. And they had that backline defense behind him. But the Sixers don't really have that right now. And that's my only concern because Giannis in the open floor, he's literally unguardable. Now, in the post, Embiid could definitely hold his own in the post. Embiid could definitely shut Giannis down in the post because Giannis doesn't really have a lot of post moves. Against Bam Adebayo in game 5 last year, in the fourth quarter, Giannis was 1 for 9 in the post. So Giannis has no post moves. Now he did work with Hakeem Olajuwon in the offseason, but I haven't really seen any dream shakes or any fadeaway shots from him this year. It's more, him going downhill, him getting to the basket, spin, dunk, or Euro step dunk. It's not really too much from Giannis's game offensively. And I definitely believe the Sixers could definitely take advantage of that. But the Sixers will have to find a way to neutralize Giannis. Now, I believe in that series, KJ Martin is not going to play too much, but I mean, in the playoffs, KJ Martin is not going to play too much, but I think in the series against Milwaukee, the Sixers could definitely use his services because I think he's one of the most athletic guys on the team, and with him being athletic, he might have a chance against Giannis. I mean, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt, but he might could have a chance to, stay with Giannis because he's just as athletic, if not more athletic. Because KJ Martin he's a high fly, he's a dunker, and but perimeter defense, I'm not. It's not something that I really think he can do. But even though there's been certain games where Nick Nurse plays him as the backups. I mean, as a small ball center. So I'm just basing off of that to say that he could, neutralize. I mean, not neutralize, but try to get in his way. Just try to prevent him from, trying to go downhill because, like I said, Giannis in the open floor, he is so difficult to deal with. But if the Sixers could build the wall or play that pack line defense, you could definitely stop Giannis and um, Damian Lillard will definitely be a handful to deal with, but he hasn't been in the playoffs in the last 2 seasons, so uh, he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna play his best in the postseason because he hasn't played for 2 seasons in the postseason. Now let me get to these. Let me get to these comments right here. Um, Tuna Sports says Mobley is shooting better than Kelly. Is he? I mean, I don't know, but bro, don't make me pull up Evan Mobley stats because I can, but I'm just not going to. Um, Bruce says I could see the Sixers lose and they're playing to the Heat. Yeah, that could happen. I'm not ruling that. I'm not ruling that out, but the Sixers will have a second chance to play the winner of the 10th and the ninth seed. So even if they lose to the Miami Heat in the first playing game, they have a second chance to get a victory. Now, I mean, I'm favoring the Sixers to win that game for whatever reason, but yeah, I definitely think the Sixers could win against Miami. But hey, anything could happen in the one game elimination, so we don't know. Shout out to my guy Zay. Shout out to my guy Zay in the bag, man. What's good, Zay? I appreciate you for stopping by. Now, Thomas, I don't know if you and Thomas was going at it like for real because I thought y'all was playing around, but Thomas, Thomas, he what you call it? He texted me on Instagram, and I texted him back, but he didn't get back to me. But I hope y'all was playing because y'all started to get personal a little bit at the end of the stream. But I hope y'all not going at it because y'all both Clipper fans. Y'all both want to see the Clippers be successful. So yeah. Tuna Sports says it's gonna be barbecue chicken. Yeah, it's gonna be barbecue chicken, but who's gonna guard Embiid? That's gonna be barbecue chicken too. Who's gonna guard Maxi? That's gonna be barbecue chicken too. Who's gonna guard Kelly Oubre when he's going to the basket constantly? Chris Middleton? I don't think so. I don't think Chris Middleton could stop what you call it, Kelly Oubre when he decides to go to the basket constantly. But the series could go either way, but I mean, Sixer fans, how they feel about Doc Rivers. They don't think Doc Rivers is a good coach, and that's a huge reason why they believe that the Sixers could beat the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, do I think that? I think yeah, the Sixers definitely have a chance against Milwaukee, but like I said, Nick Nurse is going to have to come up with some kind of defensive coverages to kind of limit Giannis Antetokounmpo because Giannis is on guard. He's unguardable in the half court. I mean, not in the half court. He's unguardable in transition. Now, in the half court, he's not as dangerous as he is in the open floor because in the open floor he can put the ball on the floor, get to the basket, dunks, layups, euro steps, spin moves, and all types of stuff. But um, Nick Nurse is going to have to come up with some sort of defense to kind of like keep him out of the lane because if you can't keep Giannis out of the lane, you're not going to win that series. You're just not. And yeah, that's how I see that series happening. Zay says His capping ass. I ain't paying him no. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why Thomas. I don't know why he gives Ty Lue that smoke, but I mean, I was listening yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, Ty Lue got swept," but yeah, Espo got swept too, and he's saying Espo is a two-time champion, but you don't think if Ty Lue had the roster that he had, don't you think he would have won championships too? I mean, if Ty Lue had LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh, Mike Miller, Shane Battier, Mario Chalmers, and Udonis Haslam, you don't think he could win back-to-back championships? He could, but for whatever reason, you give Ty Lue all this smoke, but you don't give that same smoke to all the other coaches, and that's one of my issues with Thomas. Now we can agree to disagree for sure. I mean, just because he rocks with me or I rock with him, don't mean if I have a bad take, he shouldn't call it out. I mean, you should call it out. When he has a bad take, I'll definitely call it out. When BJ got a bad take, I'm gonna definitely call it out. Me and BJ, we done argued so many times. We haven't gone at it recently. But I remember we was going at it about DeAndre Ayton. I told him DeAndre Ayton ain't shit. And I was proved right. The Phoenix Suns traded him. He ain't shit. So they traded him and they got a center who they thought is better than him. I think Bruce Hughes was there when me and BJ was arguing about that DeAndre Ayton thing. So I mean, me and BJ we go at it, but we haven't disagreed in a long time. So yeah, that's that. Bruce says Thomas is not a Clipper fan. He's a Kawhi fan, but he definitely wants the Clippers to be successful. If the Clippers is successful, Kawhi will be successful. So uh yeah, I think it goes both ways. Yeah, Tuna Sports says Thomas don't like. Yeah, Thomas don't like Ty Lue. I don't know why. Cause I wanna ask y'all this question. I mean, as bad as LeBron James played in 2011 finals, have y'all ever heard anybody criticize Espo for not putting LeBron James in positions to be successful? Because I've never heard it. Nobody criticizes what you call it. Nobody criticizes Espo for not putting LeBron James in positions to be successful. Now LeBron didn't play at the superstar level that we expected him to, but as a coach, don't y'all think that Espo should have put him in positions to be successful? He didn't do it. But for whatever reason, nobody criticizes him and he's able to go scot free. In last year's finals, nobody criticizes Espo for playing Max Strus all those minutes, and Max Strus was going 0 for 10, 0 for 11 in the finals. Max Strus had multiple 0-point games, but Espo was still playing him. And Thomas, you don't call Espo out for that. But if Ty Lue was playing Norman Powell, if Ty Lue was playing Russell Westbrook, if Ty Lue was playing James Harden, all those minutes, and they were scoring 0 points, you would have definitely been on Ty Lue helmet. You would have given them the smoke. But you don't call Espo out for that. And I'm kind of looking at you sideways. It seems like you kind of like have something personal against Ty Lue. Now you can call him out for his rotation. Sometimes I don't have any issues with it, but you got to keep the same energy with every other coach because you call yourself a sports analyst guru. So as a sports analyst guru, you should be able to what you call it, call every other coach out if they're not doing their job. But that's that. I don't have any issues with Thomas. I texted him. He didn't get back to me. He probably didn't see it yet, but yeah, it is what it is. Yep. I'd rather have Zubac than eight. Yeah, me and BJ was going at it. Now, I don't think he's on the 8-inch train anymore. Or yeah, I don't think so. Tuning Sports is when it comes to LeBron. Yeah. Nobody gives any coach any blame for not putting LeBron in positions to be successful. But if it was players that he liked, he'll definitely. I mean, he blames Doc Rivers for the Clippers blowing the 3-1 lead, but he doesn't blame Spo for not. I mean, for Miami losing in the finals. Shout out to my guy T Sweezy. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you for stopping by. He says, Bruce. Wait. Oh, he said, Bruce, that's funny. I just watched that stream today. All four Clipper fans, Zay, JM, and the rest made Thomas admit that he isn't a real Clippers fan. He's a Kawhi. I mean, we all know he's a Kawhi fan, but I mean, he still rocks with the Clippers. And he's told us multiple times he's an Atlanta Hawks fan, but he just rocks with the Clippers because Kawhi is his favorite player. I mean, he been said that. Yeah, yeah, the man's a I mean, the man's an Atlanta Hawks fan. Speaking on Clipper, yeah, but I mean, he still rocks with the Clippers because Kawhi is his favorite player. Yeah, Andre, why you cook? Now, I'm not cooking Thomas, but I'm just saying that there's certain things that he does which it's a little bit hypocritical because you don't give Spoelstra that same smoke. But if Ty Lue did that, you would have definitely, criticized him. And my whole thing is, why are you not calling Spo out? Because he gives Spo all this respect that Spo is one of the best coaches in the game. Okay, cool. Why didn't Spo bench Max Strus in the finals? Because Max Strus had multiple 0-point games in the finals. If y'all think I'm capping, y'all can go pull it up. NBA Finals 2023. Go pull up Max Strus stats. He was averaging 5 points in the finals. A starting shooting guard in the NBA Finals is averaging 5 points, and the coach doesn't bench him. But Thomas, you don't call out Spo for that. Now, I'm not cooking Thomas. I mean, it's not. I'm just calling him out because it seems like he's being hypocritical, and that's it. And that's that. Ty Lue got flaws, but he's not the. Yeah, every coach has flaws. Every coach, like I said the last time, every coach will play their veteran players more than some young players. Spo does it. Ty Lue does it. Nick Nurse does it. Tom Thibodeau does it. Mike Malone does it. A lot of coaches do it. So every coach is not. There's no perfect coach. Phil Jackson is not. Phil Jackson himself is not even perfect. He got swept in the playoffs before, so he's not a perfect coach. But just because he's not a perfect coach doesn't mean he's a worse coach. Phil Jackson is one of the best coaches in the game, but no coach is perfect. Every coach makes mistakes. So I think that's something that Thomas needs to realize. Yeah. Bruce is talking to T Sweezy. Uh, Thomas admits he rocks with the Clippers because he's a Kawhi fan. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, I don't have any issues with it if you're a player fan, and because of you being a player fan, you support a team. I don't have any issues with that. But Thomas just got to keep it real, bro. He just got to keep it real. If you hate Ty Lue, just let us know. Because even as much as Zay be criticizing PG, he do be giving PG his props when he plays great, and he did give PG his props last night when he came up huge against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I seen Zay do it, but I don't see Thomas giving Ty Lue a lot of props that often. Maybe I miss those streams, but I don't see him giving props that often, and I don't know why for whatever reason. Ty Lue's better than that. Is Ty Lue is better than? Oh, you talking about JB Bickerstaff? I mean, Bickerstaff is not. I said this the last time. Bickerstaff is not a good coach. Yeah, he's not a. Bickerstaff is in the same tier as Jacques Vaughn, and that's how I see it. But let me talk about the 76ers. The last team that they could potentially face in this playoffs, and that is the Cleveland Cavaliers. If the Sixers are able to make it into the sixth seed, I think the Cavs are the third seed, so they'll definitely play the Cavs. Now against the Cavs, like I said, Donovan Mitchell, he never got out the second round, so that's not no secret. And their team they have a young team, and this team, in my opinion, is not ready to compete or be a contender, in my opinion. I think Evan Mobley needs to take a step. He definitely needs to elevate his game. And I think the team needs to play through him more, but they just don't for whatever reason. And I don't think the Cavs, if they play the 76ers, I don't think the Cavs are going to beat the Sixers because I know Tuna Sports, I'm sorry, but I got to do this. Just this play right here. For whatever reason, Embiid sees Jared Allen and he starts going off on him. And I don't know why. And if Embiid has to see this guy in the postseason, trust me, Embiid gonna average like 35. I mean, not 35, but Embiid gonna average damn near 30 in that series. Cause every time he see Jared Allen, I don't know. I mean, he was demolishing Jared Allen in 2019 when the Sixers played the what you call it, the Brooklyn Nets in the first round. So he always goes off when Jared Allen. And on top of that, I think Nick Nurse will definitely outcoach JB Bickerstaff in a playoff series. I just I don't think JB Bickerstaff could outcoach Nick Nurse. I'll have to see it to believe it. But yeah, I think the Sixers have a better coach. Now the Cavs have a midget backcourt, and we know that those two midgets, they don't play no defense. We can compare that backcourt to the Milwaukee Bucks backcourt because they don't play no defense whatsoever. So I think the Sixers could definitely capitalize on that and come up on top victorious if they play the Cavs in the playoff series. And the last what you call it? The last team that the Sixers could potentially face if they are the sixth seed is the Orlando Magic. Yeah, Tuna Sports. Yeah, I just looked it up. But y'all don't want to see the Knicks, bro. I hope y'all could get back to the third seed because if y'all have to see the Knicks in the postseason again, bro, I'm favoring the Knicks to win, and that's just me. But if the Sixers go up against the Orlando Magic, now the Magic is a young team as well, and I'm very high on Paolo Banchero. I don't know if it's Banchero, whatever, but I'm really high on him. I think in the next 3 to 5 years, Paolo will be one of the best players in the game. I just believe that. I just believe that. And with them being a young team, they have former Sixers player Markel Fultz, and they have a young team, and I don't think they're ready to win. And I don't think Jamal Mosley will outcoach Nick Nurse in the playoff series. I just don't see that happening. Now he's a good coach, don't get me wrong, but there's levels to this. Nick Nurse, like I said, is a championship head coach. He's won a championship. He's won a championship on every level that he's coached at. So I don't see him losing to. I mean, Nick Nurse is not Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers loses to rookie head coaches. Doc Rivers lost to Joe Mazzulla. Now, Joe Mazzulla is not no bad coach. I know T. Sweezy, you be going off on your coach. I know you be going off on what you call it on Joe Mazzulla, but I don't think he's a great coach. I don't think Joe Mazzulla is a great coach yet, but I think he's definitely a good coach. If you're able to beat Doc Rivers in the playoff series, bro, you a good you a good coach. But yeah, I don't think Jamal Mosley's he's gonna outcoach Nick Nurse in the playoff series, and I don't think the Orlando Magic. I don't think they're ready to win yet. Now they have a young team. They don't have guys that have been to multiple postseason runs. They don't have guys that have made deep postseason runs. So I don't think the Orlando Magic have what it takes to beat Embiid. And on top of that, they don't have nobody for Embiid. Now, Jonathan Isaac is a good defender, don't get me wrong, but he's a bench player. He comes off the bench and he does a solid job coming off the bench and playing, good interior defense. So I'll definitely give him that. But I don't think if you put him one on one against Embiid, I don't really think he could definitely shut Embiid down. I just don't see that happening. And Jalen Suggs is a good defender. Don't get me wrong. He would definitely give Maxey some trouble on the perimeter. But like I said, the Magic are not a good jump shooting team. And in today's NBA, you have to make jump shots to win a playoff series. You got to make you got to make your shots. You got to make your outside shots. And the Magic is not a good, jump shooting team. They don't make their shots at a high clip. And because of that, I don't think they can beat the 76ers in a postseason series, in a playoff series. T Sweezy says Magic third seed. Yeah, they the third seed. Yeah, I just looked it up. But the Cavs better get back in that third seed because they don't want to see the Knicks. I'm telling you, Jared Allen don't want to go up against the Knicks, bro. Yeah. Yeah. T Sweezy says, "Do you like it?" Yeah, yeah. Nick Nurse is a championship head coach. Nick Nurse shows he shows in multiple instances that he can make in-game adjustments. He's made adjustments multiple times in the previous years. So I definitely like. I mean, when you watch the Sixers play the Miami Heat, you can see the adjustments that he was making, and Espo was also making adjustments on the fly. And I've said this multiple times: if the Sixers have to play the Miami Heat in the postseason, it's going to be a chess match because these two coaches are going to make adjustments. They're going to make adjustments over adjustments every single time, and that will definitely be so fun to watch for sure. Uh, T Sweezy says Joe Mazzulla isn't built to be a head coach. He trash. He lost to a NIGGA, a nigga that that's 100 years old, who also has dementia. Wait, who you talking about? Espo? You talking about Spoelstra? Bro, Spoelstra ain't that old, bro. But I mean, yeah, T Sweezy, I understand what you're saying, but you definitely got to give what you call it. You got to give Missoula, you got to give him a lot of credit for the adjustment he made against the Sixers. He was playing all offense, but he made the adjustment and put Robert Williams and Al Horford on the floor. And that adjustment right there was something that Doc Rivers was not able to counter. And the Sixers ultimately lost that series. So as much as you get on them, I think you need to give him at least you need to give him a little bit more credit because in his first season he made it to the conference finals. I think you should give him at least some. I mean, you got to give him some credit. Now, yeah, the Celtics didn't win; they didn't get to the finals, and Jason Tatum got hurt in Game 7, the first play. We don't know if he don't get hurt. The Celtics probably get to the finals, but that's that. I'm not. I don't like the Celtics. I don't like the Celtics, bro. How's Melton doing over there? Yeah, Melton is dealing with the back. He's dealing with the back injury with a spine, a lumbar spine injury, something like that. So he's out indefinitely, and we don't know if he's gonna come back. But hopefully he could definitely come back because Melton is one of the best perimeter defenders that the Sixers have. So the Sixers will definitely use his services if he's healthy. Tuna Sports says Magic will get gentlemen swept, maybe 6 or going up against Philly. Yeah, like I mean, they're a young team, and even don't get me wrong, young teams. We've seen young teams upset, veteran teams, but this Magic team doesn't. They don't really have what it takes. I mean, Paolo Banchero in year 2, I don't expect him to beat a Philly team because this Philly team is this Sixer team is just a better. They're just better. It's just a better team than the Magic. Now I know somebody's gonna say if the Sixers is better than the Magic, why is the Magic a higher seed than the Sixers? Because Embiid got hurt. So yeah, that's that. Um, Steve Clay. I mean, come on. In the regular season, I mean, if he lost them in the postseason in 4 games, yeah, you would have had a point. But in the regular season, I mean, great teams lose to bottom feeders every single time. So I mean, the 73-9 team, they lost to the what you call it. They lost to Milwaukee in the regular season. Milwaukee was trash that year. So great teams lose to bottom feeders every single time. Yeah, T Sweet, yeah, T Sweet be getting on the he be getting on Joe Mazzulla. And I mean it's funny sometimes. It is funny sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. T Sweezy says, Tuna Sports, if y'all lose to the Knicks again, y'all gotta blow. Yeah, if they lose to the Knicks for a second time, somebody's getting traded, somebody's getting fired. JB's definitely getting fired if they lose to the Knicks for a second straight time. And Donovan Mitchell might get traded. So yeah. He says, can you guys beat the Hawks? This Hawks team? Yeah. Now the Sixers would have definitely beaten Atlanta in 2021 if they had a different coach because the Sixers didn't make the adjustment. I mean, Ben Simmons was shooting 30% from the free throw line. If your second best player is shooting 30%, not from the field, not from the three, but 30% from the free throw line, you would definitely lose a playoff series. And I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, fire JB. If y'all lose to the Knicks for a second straight year, JB is getting fired. And I'm standing on that. I think he would definitely get fired. So he got to get it. He got to get it together. Donovan Mitchell need to step up so his coach doesn't get fired too. I'm not letting him off the hook. And if Donovan Mitchell don't get to the conference finals this year, bro, you gonna definitely hear from me. You read it wrong. You guys beat Thomas Hawks. Oh, you talking about regular season? I mean, yeah, we beat them in the regular season all the time, and they beat us in the regular season all the time. I mean, I think the season series is 2-1 or maybe 2-2. I don't remember, but they definitely beat us this year. We went to overtime, and Jalen Johnson was, yeah, he was a beast down low. I'm not, I ain't even going. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. Tune in sports. Stop blaming the coach. I don't know why, but almost everybody on YouTube blame their head coach when they come up short. I don't know why, but Tune in sports don't really blame JB like that. I mean, Tune in sports don't even blame nobody. I mean, when they lost to the Knicks, he didn't really blame anybody. He didn't really give anybody that smoke. I mean, maybe I forgot, but I don't remember him giving anybody any kind of smoke. But let me just get to the last part, and let me get ready to close this one out. So yeah, I think the 76ers could definitely make a run to the conference finals, but I don't think they have I don't think they could make it to the finals. Now, the Eastern Conference is open, it's wide open, and anybody could make a run to the finals because the East is wide open. And every season, I mean, when you have a season where it's kind of hard to predict who can come out of the Eastern Conference, I think that season is good. And with the Sixers being as low seeded as they are, nobody's giving them um nobody's picking them to go to the finals. Now, people are picking them to upset teams in the first round, like the Milwaukee Bucks, and you haven't really seen that in a long time. But nobody's picking the Sixers to get to the finals, and I think that the Sixers could definitely use that as motivation because you don't really have any kind of expectations to go to the finals, and when they have expectations, they come up short. And like I said, in 2021, they had expectations to go to the conference finals, and they lost in the second round to the Atlanta Hawks. Bruce says, "Yeah, to the sports just disappeared." I mean, he did on the gram, but he did a stream this morning, and I was trying to hop on, but he had to do something, so he couldn't really drop the link for me to hop on. But yeah, shout out to Tuna Sports though. So yeah, every time the Sixers are picked to do something special in the postseason, they come up short. But this year, nobody's picking them to go to the finals. I mean, even though people are picking them to upset some teams in the first round, not a lot of people are picking them to go to the finals. And I think the Sixers could definitely capitalize on this and surprise everyone and make a run to the finals. Now, if you go to the finals and you play the Clippers, yes, I'm picking the Sixers to beat the Clippers. Or you play against the Denver Nuggets or the Phoenix Suns or the Thunder or the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, we shouldn't sleep on the Lakers because the Lakers were in the same position the same position that they're in last year, and they made it to the conference finals. Now they got swept, but they made a deep postseason run. So they could get to the finals. I mean, I'm not picking them to get to the finals, but if the Sixers can make a finals run, I believe that they could win for sure. But I'm not picking them to go to the finals. Even as a Sixer fan, I'm not picking them to go to the finals. And they're gonna have to show me. They're gonna have to prove it to me that they could make a long postseason run because, like I said, they don't really do well when they start a series on the road. But this year is a little bit different because you have a different coach. Um, you have Embiid who's playing. I mean, he was hurt, but he's back. He's trying to get back to the level that he was playing at before he got hurt. So you have that, and you got Maxi, who's in the most improved player conversations. Maxi made his first All Star appearance this year, so you have a good or solid team that could make a deep or a solid postseason run. So Embiid doesn't really have any excuses this year because he's not limping into the playoffs. Now, yeah, he did come off an injury, but he's not limping. He's not hurt. I'm gonna consider him healthy going into the postseason because he's not, he doesn't have an orbital fracture or a torn ligament in the thumb or a LCL sprain. So yeah, Embiid has, he has the necessary. Now he doesn't really on paper, it don't really look good, but on paper it's different from when you get on the basketball court because when you get on the court, you got to perform, you got to uplift your team. And so I believe um the Sixers could definitely make a deep postseason run. Even though I'm not picking them against anybody. I'm not gonna favor them in the first round because they're a lower seed and they haven't won a series on the road. So I'm not gonna do it. But just because I'm not gonna do it doesn't mean the Sixers are not capable of making a deep postseason run. And the Sixers have everything that they need, or everything that they could, they have everything they could ask for. Now you don't have a lot, compared to some of the other teams like the Boston Celtics. Now the Celtics have, probably one of the best um starting fives in the league. But I mean, like I said, the Sixers have, guys that have been in, multiple, deep postseason runs like Cameron Payne and Nico Batum and Kyle Lowry. Kyle was in the finals last year. Nick Nurse he's a championship head coach. He's made, multiple deep postseason runs. Um and I mean not just in the NBA, in overseas. He was making, multiple deep postseason runs. So um the Sixers have a chance to do something special this year, but first and foremost, they have to get out of the play-in tournament. Now, if they get out of the play-in tournament, then we know who they're gonna who we know who they're gonna face in the first round. Shout out to my guy, Big Fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog. Big Fan Breezy, I appreciate you for stopping by. Shout out to you. Y'all can go sub to his channel. Brooklyn, a Brooklyn Nets fan. I'm sorry that the Nets are not gonna make the postseason, but y'all definitely had a. I mean, this Brooklyn Nets team, it was fun to watch. I mean, it was fun watching Cam Thomas, score at the level that he was scoring at. Unfortunately, he got hurt, so I think that kind of derailed Brooklyn's chances of making it to the playoffs. And I mean, they had a bad coach too, but this Brooklyn Nets team was definitely fun to watch. I'll definitely give y'all that. Even though y'all was not competitive, but y'all was definitely fun to watch. So we're gonna have another playing team in the finals again. Potentially. I mean, possibly it could happen because Miami is in the playing. So you never want to count Miami out. And even in the Western Conference, the Lakers, I mean, I don't know. They could get to the finals. Even though I'm not picking them to get to the finals, they could make a deep postseason run. Golden State, I'm not gonna count them out, even though they've been playing, terrible. They could, make a run to the finals. So yeah, so possibly they could be teams that play in the play-in and make it to the finals, but I mean it's not a guarantee though. Bruce, you either a Clippers fan or Kawhi fan. Their levels. Now I think Bruce is a Clippers fan and he's a Kawhi fan too, because Bruce was watching the Clippers before Kawhi even got there. So, I mean, I'm not sure, but I think so. Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't mind Embiid versus Jokic in the finals, but that won't happen. I mean, yeah, it won't happen because the Denver Nuggets will lose in the second round. So yeah, it's not gonna happen because Denver is not going to the finals. Told Breezy about the Nets. I mean, yeah, but he was just confident in his team, which he was supposed to be confident in his team because if he's not confident, nobody else is gonna be confident in his team. But uh, I think he was just a little bit blindsided and thought JV was a good coach, but JV not he ain't built like that. Big fan loser said Nets are going to the second. Yeah, bro, that was a bad take. That was a bad take. I know locker room gonna get on his ass about that because they had that debate and he said that. I know for a fact locker room after the season He gonna do a show about it. I know locker room. Breezy, you told us the Nets was making the plan. Yeah, he did say that, but he was wrong, and he accepts that he was wrong. So I don't think that's an issue. I'm a Clippers fan and Kawhi fan. Yeah. Bruce is a Clippers fan. He was following the Clippers before Kawhi got there. Yeah, yeah, y'all making fun of Breezy, but the Nets they gonna be back, man. The Nets gonna be back, but yeah. So Embiid has no excuses. He's not limping into the playoffs. He has a championship head coach in Nick Nurse. Has one of the best young players in Maxey, right? Have one of the best shooters in the game, and Buddy Hield. Even though he's not shooting the ball at a high clip, he's still one of the best shooters in the game. And I don't think any team in their right minds will leave Buddy Hield open from the three. That's not gonna happen. So yeah, you have one of the best 3-point shooters in the game. Um Tudor Sports says best forwards Tobias. I mean Tobias is a little bit, he might show up in a postseason. In the first round, he might show up, and then in the second round, he'll just disappear. And that's Tobias. I've seen that for the past 5 years. I saw him. He was phenomenal. I mean, I'm not gonna say phenomenal, but he played good against the Washington Wizards in 2021. I could even make the argument that he was the best player in that series because Embiid got hurt, so he didn't play the full series. I think Ben Simmons and Russ they both averaged triple doubles in that postseason. But yeah, Tobias had one of his best, playoff performances in the first round against Washington. And then we go up against the Atlanta Hawks and it's a different outcome. I mean, in game 7, he took 24 shots to get 24 points. That is terrible. But I'm not going to turn this into a Tobias Harris bash session. Tobias has helped us for sure. Last year in Game 7, he stepped up. Maxey stepped up, but Embiid and James Harden didn't step up. So, I mean, even though in Game 6 he scored 2 points, but in Game 7 he did show up. But our best players didn't show up, and the Sixers lost. So I'm not gonna fully blame him, but he definitely gets some of the blame. He gets some of the blame, and B gets some of the blame. Simmons gets some of the blame. Harden gets some of the blame. Doc Rivers for sure gets some of the blame. But yeah, not to get off track, the Sixers definitely have what it takes to make a deep postseason run. They have the depth. They have some players that, like I said, have made deep postseason runs. So there shouldn't be any excuses this year. Now, even though they're a bottom seed, I mean seventh, eighth, I mean sixth, seventh, or eighth seed, they're gonna be one of them if they make the postseason. It still shouldn't be an excuse because we saw the Miami Heat. Now, yeah, the Sixers are not the Miami Heat. I get it. The Miami Heat made the finals. Now, I'm not saying the Sixers should make the finals, but the Sixers have what it takes to make a deep postseason run. And if they don't, um, it would be a very, very big disappointment. And this team would definitely look very, very different the following season. T Sweezy says, Andre 76, give Tobias a max. He deserves every penny. He puts his blood, sweat, and tears into this team. I mean, he does, but not for a max contract. I mean, he don't deserve no max contract, bro. We gave him a 5-year, 180, and that's that. And I don't blame Tobias. I mean, he made the most out of a limited skill set. His father was able to negotiate a lucrative contract, and the Sixers front office, Elton Brand, was finessed into giving Tobias 180. So I don't blame him, but I don't think he's max contract worthy. I mean, he never made an All-Star team, so what max contract player never made an All-Star team? Now, I think Desmond Bain, if he's still in the Western Conference, he'll definitely break that record for the player that made the most amount of money and never made the All-Star team. I think if Desmond Bain is still in the Western Conference, he'll definitely break that record. But yeah, Elton Brandy. Yeah, yeah. I don't even know what he does. I don't really see him that often. You don't see any press conferences from him. You don't really hear from him that much. All we know is he's a GM. He definitely need to get fired. The Sixers need Josh Harris need to sell the team because he's not serious about winning. And we need to have a conversation about if you're a player, does the team you play for matter? Because if you play for a Clippers team and Steve Ballmer really cares about the Clippers, he wants the Clippers to win. So he's been spending like a lot of money to help make this Clippers team a championship contender. But if you play for a 76er team and Josh Harris don't really care about this team, I don't even know the last time he was at a Sixer game. You're not gonna really have, a good team around you to compete for a championship. Now, I'm not making that excuse for Embiid. Embiid has had, some good teams, but bad coaches, players not stepping up. He himself not stepping up has been a reason, and him being hurt has been a reason why he hasn't, um, you know, been successful in the NBA. Yeah, they need to sell the team. Josh Harris need to sell the team because he's not serious about winning. I'm standing on that. He don't care about the team. He care about the Washington Redskins. I mean the Washington Commanders. He don't care about the Sixers. Ballmer got that. Yeah, he do. But Josh Harris got that too. I mean, not at the level of Steve Ball. I think Steve Ballmer's the richest owner in sports. But Josh Harris has, he has resources, but he don't really put any resources into the Sixer team. All he care about is the return on his investments. That's all he care about. But Steve Ballmer, he definitely cares about the Clippers, uh, signing players, trading players, try to make the team better every single season. Yeah, I'll definitely give him that for sure. Ballmer is, yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. The Josh Harris is not that. Like I said, he don't really care about the team. I don't remember the last time I saw Josh Harris at a Sixers game. But yeah, let me just read these last comments and I can shut the stream down. He want, yeah, Steve Ballmer definitely want. Yeah, I mean, he has 4 Hall of Famers on his team, so he definitely wants to win. I mean, if I say stacking the deck, I know I'm gonna piss off some Clipper fans, but yo, this Clipper team is a super team. I don't care what anybody says. But yeah, super team or not, he's doing his best to, make this team a championship contender team, and make this team win. He's doing his part. Now the players have to do their part. Kawhi Leonard has to get on the court and perform. Paul George has to get on the court and perform. James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Norman Powell. But Steve Ballmer is definitely doing his part. He definitely wants to win for sure. Andre, if you're Lawrence Frank, would you have given Kawhi that? I mean, yeah. I think Kawhi made a mistake because I think signing that contract was definitely. I felt like he should have waited. Play 70 games this year, go into the playoffs, and he definitely balls out in the playoffs. So you add the amount of games that you played this year with his postseason production. That would have definitely given him a 5-year contract for sure. But I mean, I know what you're saying though, because he's been hurt. He hasn't really been on the court the last few seasons. But I mean, this year he's playing almost 70 games. He's at 68. I think he should play the last two and get to 70. But I mean, it's not really gonna matter. But yeah, if I'm definitely giving him that contract for sure. Kawhi's a yeah, T Sweets. I get what you mean, but I mean, if you don't give him that contract, like who's the next player that you could get in replace of Kawhi Leonard? And yeah, who's the player that you're gonna replace Kawhi with? That's gonna give you the same production as Kawhi Leonard gonna give you when he step on that court. I don't really think you. I don't think they'll get any player that'll do it. But I mean, Kawhi, yeah, hasn't played enough. But I mean, he's proven us wrong. He's played 60 plus games this year. So, um, Yeah, that's a huge difference for sure. He's probably gonna sit out until the end or the start of the playoffs. Yeah, yeah, I see that too. I see that too. And Kawhi's gonna make he'll probably make an all NBA team. So I think Kawhi made a huge mistake signing that contract so early. But I mean, he probably wanted to secure that because I mean, who knows? He probably thought he was gonna maybe get hurt. And if he had gotten hurt, that would have definitely limited his chances of getting a long term deal. Now, 3 years, 176. That is really not nothing because the salary cap the salary cap will definitely go up next season. So that's not going to be nothing. I mean, you got some players making 50 million. Steph Curry's going to make 50 million next year, and I think Jokic is going to make 50 million next year too. What about AD? He's been playing 70. Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Lakers, bro, I'm giving the players these deals because these are some of the best players in the game, and Anthony Davis has proven that he's one of the best defenders in the game. Now, people may not give him that, but I think he's one of the best rim protectors in the game. He's one of the best shot blockers in the game, and when he's on the floor, the Lakers' chances of winning go up. Now, yeah, they're the ninth seed. I mean, they're the eighth seed, but um, yeah, if AD's on the floor, the Lakers' chances of winning go up. Haven't played that many games since November. Wait, who you talking about? Oh, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Since New Orleans. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's true. So this is the most games he's played in his career. I mean, I don't know. I know he was street clothes or whatever, but yeah, I mean, if I mean he's definitely the Lakers. He's the Lakers' cornerstone. Once LeBron retires or leaves, if he gonna leave this offseason. But yeah, if you're the Lakers, you definitely give him that contract. You don't want him to walk for free. Him, Kawhi, Paul George, yeah, you pay them. You don't let them walk. Now, if you got DeAndre Ayton, yeah, you could be. I mean, me personally, if I'm a GM, I got pride. I let him walk. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, but I mean, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, these are perennial all stars playing at a high level. DeAndre Ayton ain't never made no all star team. What if Clippers go home in the first round? How you think all the fans will act on? Yeah, BJ definitely he on. Yeah, all the haters gonna resurrect, and you're gonna see new faces on the Pull Up Basketball podcast that you haven't even seen before on the team cooking BJ and Thomas. I mean, not. I mean, BJ don't really talk a lot of trash. It's more so Thomas and Thomas. Yeah, yeah. A lot of niggas gonna be on Thomas's helmet for sure. But I don't think the Clippers gonna lose in the first round. I think at worst the second round. That's at worst, but they get out the first round for sure. Now, if they play Dallas, I'm gonna favor them to win against Dallas, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas upsets the Clippers in the first round. But yeah, that's that. I believe the Sixers have what it takes, but um, in order for them to make a deep postseason run, everybody needs to do their job. And B needs to do his job. Maxey needs to do his job. Nick Nurse needs to do his job. The complementary pieces need everybody need to do their job. Because it's a team effort. One person cannot get it done, and B cannot get it done by himself. He said that last year. He can't get it. He can't win, but on his own. He needs a team. So I think everybody needs to come together and be one, be a cohesive unit in order for the Sixers to um, definitely make a deep postseason run. And the Eastern Conference is wide open. So um, if you get the favorable matchups, you can definitely make a deep postseason run. And you could end up in the finals. Who knows? Believe it or not, yeah, Herm, yeah. Yo, if the Clippers lose in the first round, bro, I know Herb go demolish every Clipper fan on these YouTube streets. Like, yo, BJ Thomas, Bruce, Dorillas, like, yo, he go demolish every single one of them. I know for a fact, but hopefully the Clippers don't lose in the first round because that yo, I'm not ready for that. You don't think Herb will send people over there? Oh, Herb, yeah, he definitely will. He definitely will. He'd probably create some fake accounts to kind of get on the stream. I mean, get on the panel. But I know BJ gonna definitely boot him out. But yeah, Herm is the ultimate troll. So I ain't gonna be surprised if that happens. But let me bring this to an end. So yeah, Sixers could definitely make a deep postseason run. But Embiid, I mean the hierarchy, Nick Nurse as a head coach, as a leader, Embiid, Maxey, Tobias Harris, and then all the rest of the guys have to definitely do their jobs. Paul Reed needs to be a good backup center. If Mo Bamba, if you get minutes, you got to be a good backup center. Kelly Oubre, DeAnthony Melton, if you come back, hopefully, I don't know, but if you come back, you definitely have to hit some outside shots, play some good perimeter defense. Try to keep guys outside the lane. Cameron Payne, you're gonna have to do your job. Nico, be a good passer, be a good rebounder. Also, um, when you get those open threes, you got to make your shots. Everybody has to make their shots. And KJ Martin, if you get any playing time, you're gonna have to definitely do your job to earn your minutes because in the postseason, I don't think you're gonna be in the rotation. So when you get your chance, you got to make the most out of it for sure. Yeah, I know BJ blocked him, but if the Clippers lose, he's definitely gonna create a different account to kind of get on the stream. I know Herm. We all know Herm gonna do it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, bro. He gonna definitely make a fake account, and that's not surprised. That I wouldn't be surprised if I see it because Herm is a troll. He's shown that he's a troll. So yeah, that's that. But so yeah, Sixers could definitely make a deep postseason run, but in order for that to happen, everybody has to come to play. The team has to be healthy. Nick Nurse has to make the right adjustments. He has to draw the right game plans, has to run the right rotations, got to come up with the good or the best defensive coverages in order for that to happen. And the players have to get on the court, perform, and uplift the team. And that's how the Sixers could make a deep postseason run. And that's what I think. But I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna end the stream right here. I appreciate each and every person that tuned in. Shout out to my guy T Sweezy, Just Win Baby Podcast. He's a Celtics fan. Y'all can definitely sub to his channel. Shout out to Tuna Sports, Cleveland Cavaliers content creator. Shout out to Bruce. Shout out to my guy Seriously Larry. I'm gonna definitely tune in to the Phillies, into the Philly stream. And shout out to Zay. I appreciate you for stopping by. Shout out to Big Fan Breezy too. For the Brooklyn Nets. If you have a stream, I'm gonna definitely hop on. Pause if necessary. Man, today's world, man. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that tuned in. I'll catch you on the next live. Peace.